Hi and welcome to another video in our Aladdin Vivarium series. In today's video we're going to cover how we made the Cave of Wonders. To start off with, you're going to need a block of polystyrene foam that's roughly the size of the final piece that you're looking for. The tools that we're using here are hot wire foam cutters from the Hot Wire Foam factory. There's a link in the description for where you can get your own. The first step is to block out the basic shape by taking away big chunks of foam until you have something that more closely resembles your final result. Then cut away the inside to leave what will be the actual cave. Now remember that all of the remaining detail will come from cutting down further into the foam, so you need to leave it thicker than your final piece will be. The freehand router is perfect for this, as you can bend the wire into whatever shape you need for your cuts. Just make sure that the tool is off and the wire is cold before you try to bend it with your hands. Start off with the general curvature of the head and mane and pick out where you want the mouth to be. You need to make sure that the mouth you make will be big enough for whoever you're making your piece for. Ours is for a leopard gecko, so it doesn't have to be too big, but if you're making it for a bearded dragon for example, then you need a much bigger opening to suit. Once we have the rough parts of the face in place like the nose and eyes, then it's time to figure out the rough shape of the mane by putting in some basic curves along the lines that we want. Next we want to further refine the features of the face using the engraver tool for some finer control. We want to bring out the eyes more and more and make the channels that the light will eventually pass through. We want to smooth over the brow, create some wrinkles on the top of the nose and further refine the front of the face. We're also going to trace in two wavy lines between each mane, which we will then carve in later to make more hairs. After that we're going to make the teeth. Now the actual Cave of Wonders has teeth on the top and bottom, but to make things easier for our little friend to get in and out, we aren't going to put any on the bottom. We're going to leave room for their legs to go either side. Using a sharp craft or X-Acto knife, cut out two pieces of foam to make your teeth. Work on the first one and get it into the shape that you want, and then you can essentially trace it onto the other piece of foam to get two identical teeth. Now we need a way to attach the teeth, and toothpicks will work just fine for this. Just snap one in half and sharpen the broken ends, and then you will have two pieces that are the right length and can be inserted into each tooth. Try a test fit to make sure that the teeth will stick inside the mouth and that they're the right size. You can make any necessary adjustments to the teeth if needed. If you're happy with the teeth, then just play around with the placement until you find one that you're happy with. At this point we decided that we wanted a bit more room in the mouth for our gecko to be able to get through, so we made the hole a bit wider. Now at this point all of the carving is done, so we're going to be moving on to coating everything in concrete. Take out the teeth for this bit, as you want to be careful not to break them, as they're quite delicate at this stage. Otherwise you might end up breaking one out of place like we did. Make sure you cover every part of the model, both inside and out, leaving no white part showing. You will also see that we decided to add a supporting wall to the back of our model. We'll use some no more nails to stick on a foam sheet and then just cut around the mane to keep the same shape. Once you've covered all of the main head, you have two options when it comes to the teeth. You could either cover them in concrete and stick them in here with toothpicks so that concrete will bond them together, or you can go with the approach that we've ended up going with. In order to keep our teeth as smooth as possible, we coated them separately in concrete and then sanded them down until they were smooth again. We covered the finishing process in a little bit. Once you've given the concrete plenty of time to dry, it's time to coat everything in polyurethane resin, which will smooth things out and make the piece even stronger. The resin we used is linked in the description. We coated the head and teeth separately and then used a 5-minute epoxy to bond them together once the resin had cured. After leaving the piece to fully cure, we applied the base colour with an orange spray paint for the outside and a black for the inside of the cave. When that dried, we applied a brown wash to the outside of the piece, covering everywhere and then letting it all dry. This ended up giving us a really nice variation for our base colour, which we then dry brushed on top of with a lighter brown colour. We were trying to mimic a sandstone style rock with our piece, but for your own piece you can just use whatever mix of colours you need to simulate your chosen rock type with the same technique. Finally, once the piece has been allowed a day to dry, we coated the entire piece in a clear plastic dip and then left that to dry before using a hot glue gun to secure some colour changing tea lights in place behind the eyes and at the top of the cave. And with that we're done. We hope you've enjoyed this video and that you can make a cave of wonders for your own enclosures. If you like this video and want to see more like it, then please subscribe to our channel and leave a like below. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below and we'll try to get back to you. Thanks and see you in the next video.